analysis with it all on the line. Bengals blowout vs. Steelers in 23-20 loss. The Cincinnati Bengals had a 2-score lead to hold for 14 minutes and 36 seconds. It was for their season. Maybe it was for Marvin Lewis' job. Maybe it was for the jobs of others. It definitely was for a sense of pride, at least for the home fans in attendance. They couldn't hold it. The Pittsburgh Steelers did it again. Of course they did. In near-literal bloodbath Monday night at Paul Brown Stadium, players were carted off, taken to the hospital, assisted to the locker room, drilled in the head, clutched and grabbed, and for the 6th straight time the Steelers just jabbed at their little brothers in the kidney for 3 quarters until they decided it was time to win, and they just took the Bengals ball and went home with 3 fourth-quarter scores. And when it was winning time, Bengals receivers dropped passes, the offense committed penalties, and Andy Dalton held on to the ball and was sacked. Geno Atkins, of all people, took a bad penalty. The linebackers looked confused. Ben Roethlisberger looked to whoever was running routes against Drew Kirkpatrick, and Le'Veon Bell looked for the eventual wide-open swaths of turf, and no Bengal defender could make a play. It was the same old story. Bill Lazor, the Bengals offensive coordinator, put together a varied game plan for his second crack at the Steelers, using multiple formations and personnel groupings to create space for both his running backs and his receivers. He insisted during the week that he was going to continue calling deep throws for Andy Dalton to instill confidence in his group, and while Dalton wasn't entirely accurate on those throws, it kept the Steelers' safeties honest. Lazor then also had to deal with the loss of starting running back Joe Mixon to a concussion in the first half, as well as worsening weather conditions throughout the game, yet the Bengals were able to put together their best non-Cleveland offensive effort of the year. Unfortunately, late penalties, drops and bad sacks unwound a lot of that good work in a loss. With 1:02 left in the third quarter, Pittsburgh head coach Mike Tomlin challenged a ruling of an incomplete pass on a throw to A.J. Green. Tomlin felt Artie Burns strip the ball from Green on his way to the ground, but a relatively quick replay review confirmed the call of an incompletion. Marvin Lewis correctly decided not to challenge a play early in the third quarter, where Le'Veon Bell was left alone in the left flat with just about 9 minutes to go. As he veered to the Bengals sideline to his right, Bengals rookie linebacker Jordan Evans closed. Evans gave Bell a weak shove toward the boundary, and William Jackson III just stopped, assuming Bell was headed out of bounds. But the Steelers linebacker kept his balance and streaked up the field for a 35-yard touchdown to cut the Bengals' lead to 17-10. More, Bengals linebacker Vontaze Burfict carted off after hit by Steelers Juju Smith-Schuster. More, Ryan Shazier carted off field during Monday Night Football game against Cincinnati Bengals. Make a moment. Adam Jones created one on the game's opening possession, making a diving interception of Ben Roethlisberger near midfield to spot the Bengals a quick change and plus field position. They capitalized with a field goal. Unfortunately, the Bengals needed more than just that one play. It looked like they got it with a 61-yard touchdown from Andy Dalton to A.J. Green in the third quarter, but a Giovanni Bernard holding penalty wiped it out. Neither side of the ball could make a play in the fourth quarter, let alone a moment. Vontaze Burfict blows up. As one might expect, the Bengals linebacker found himself involved in a big play. As Adam Jones was attempting to return his first quarter interception, Burfict ran right to Le'Veon Bell to get in front of him and block. The legal tussle ended when Bell gave Burfict a shot to the face. Burfict helped his cause by flopping backward, but it did get a flag and the Bengals an additional 15 yards. Burfict was involved in plenty of tackles but didn't really make any signature plays as Le'Veon Bell once again chewed up the Bengals. He was knocked out of the game on a vicious helmet-to-helmet hit by Steelers wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster with 6:37 to go in the game, and finished with 1 tackle for a loss and 6 overall. Andy Dalton needs to win. The Bengals quarterback has not had a good career against the Steelers or in primetime, but he had a very good night on Monday. He struggled again throwing the ball deep down the sideline, with 3 throws drifting out of bounds, but he was accurate elsewhere and moved the ball consistently through 3 quarters. Dalton hit A.J. Green for what looked to be a 61-yard touchdown early in the third quarter, but the score was overturned on a hold. Dalton did move the team into field goal range after that, however. But in the final moment, the fourth quarter, the Bengals ran 8 plays and gained 13 yards and did not gain a first down. 1 negative plays by the Bengals offense through 3 quarters and 5 minutes of the game. 2 negative plays by the Bengals offense in their final 6 plays of regulation. 10 personal fouls in the game. 52 touchdowns from Andy Dalton to A.J. Green in their career. It is the third most behind Aaron Rodgers and Jordy Nelson, 59, and Roethlisberger and Brown, 58. 173 penalty yards by the Bengals, a franchise record. 2013 year in which the Bengals last beat the Steelers at Paul Brown Stadium. It was in Week 2, on September 16. 56,029 announced attendance, nearly 10,000 fewer than a sellout for essentially a must-win, playoff-like game. Drew Kirkpatrick won't be upset if he doesn't Le'Veon Bell for quite some time. Song of the game: the Bengals had a 2-score lead to start the fourth quarter. They lost.